What is up, YouTube? We are back here today. We got a big episode here. We're going to be talking NFL Week 16, and we're going to go ahead and jump into the college football playoff predictions. The playoffs are here. If you're new around here, this is a Fumble Pod. I am your host, Dalton Lee. Let's jump right on into it. We're going to cover NFL first because tonight is Thursday. We got Thursday Night Football. We're going to jump and cover all of our NFL. Then we're going to hop on over to our college football. Let's get right into it. So first up tonight on Thursday Night Football, we have the Los Angeles Rams traveling to Seattle to play the Seahawks. Seahawks are favored a point and a half right now. This is the second time we've seen these two teams play. Last time we saw them play, Rams won by 2 points in a game in which Sam Darnold threw 4 interceptions, played awful. Rams didn't really play that great, but this Seahawks defense played phenomenal and has continued to play phenomenal since that game, along with the Rams defense. Rams defense has still been pretty good since then. So we got a battle of two Titans right now. Rams are coming off of a big win last week, outscoring the Detroit Lions. Came out of that game a little banged up with Devontae Adams. I don't think he's playing tonight, but you still got Puka Nacua. You got two really good running backs, really good offensive line, and a great defense. And you got Matthew Stafford, who's playing at an MVP level right now. Seattle, the offense has been weird. You got some games where Sam Darnold, plays phenomenal. And you got some games where he doesn't really do a whole lot, and they're still winning. I think this game would have to be a game of, can Sam Darnold limit the turnovers? If he can eliminate some of the turnovers, it's going to be a close game yet again. But just going off of how the two quarterbacks have played all year, I like Stafford. I like the Rams to go in and get a big win again tonight. Kind of secure the division if they win this game. They've been the hotter hand. Stafford and McVay have been phenomenal this year. That offense has been a well-oiled machine. And I just think they're going to find a way to edge out the Seahawks just a bit. Just enough to get this win. I think they're going to win like 24-21. It's going to be a really close, great game, I feel like. And then we get a special treat this weekend. Saturday, 8:20 p.m. kickoff. We got the Packers playing the Bears. We just saw this game 2 weeks ago. It was a great game. Now we get to see it again in Chicago. Right now, Green Bay is favored a point and a half. And honestly, I feel like now with how good both of these teams are, it's kind of a toss-up game. I do feel like it's a toss-up game. And the way the Bears have been playing, even in that Packers game, Bears have been playing really good. They got a really good run game going. Caleb Williams has actually been playing really well under Ben Johnson. And the defense has gradually gotten better over the weeks. Whereas the Packers are coming off of a tough loss in Denver to the Broncos. They just lost Micah Parsons for the year. Christian Watson also got hurt in that game. I don't know if he's going to play. So you got Packers kind of missing some key guys going into this game. Jordan Love has been such a roller coaster in terms of consistency throughout the year. And I'm kind of looking at this, I'm like, okay, both have really good defenses. The offenses are both can be high power. It's a matter of, who's got the hot hand that night. The one thing looking at the last matchup was the Bears could not stop Josh Jacobs in the run game. I think they're going to adjust and be able to stop that and force Jordan Love to have to sling the ball. And I think it's going to be easier for the Bears to defend it because they're missing Christian Watson. That's a deep threat guy. They don't really have a whole lot of deep threats consistently. Kind of be able to play, cover two, keep everything underneath, rally, make tackles. And I think just with the way the Bears offense has been moving lately, being able to run the ball, open up play action, allow Caleb Williams to be an athlete and make some insane throws, I like the Bears in this game. At home, it's a night game. I'm sure Soldier Field is going to be electric. I like the Bears 28-23. Get a big division win. Put them right back in the race for a potential 1 seed. It's just something about them. I really do like the way they're moving right now. Then we're going to jump into the Sunday games. We have, at 1 o'clock, got Carolina Panthers hosting Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's opening as 3-point favorites. And initially looking at this matchup, we're looking at, okay, this is the healthiest the Bucs have been since the beginning of the season. Got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Mecca Ibuka, Cade Otton, Bucky Irvin, Rashad White, and a pretty much healthy offensive line. The defense is also pretty much healthy. They hadn't been great, but they've been solid this year. Look at the Panthers, they're somewhat healthy as well. The biggest concern is the Bucks have the number one rushing defense, and the Panthers like to run the ball. Whether it's working or not, they're going to try and run the ball. So if they're going to be that stubborn and trying to run the ball against this defense, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a very long day. Fortunate thing is the Buccaneers passing defense likes to allow a lot of yards on short routes to receivers or not receivers, running backs and tight ends. They're in the bottom of the league in allowing most yards by those two positions. So if Panthers want to have a chance, they got to be able to attack it with Rico and Chuba, get Tommy, possibly Jatavion, Mitchell Evans. They got to get the ball just to kind of help force the defense to have to play low and be able to maybe take shots, whether it's to Jalen Coker, Xavier Legette, Tetaroa McMillan, possibly a little Jimmy Horn Jr. sighting. Who knows? But with all this being said, a lot of the Panthers players have not been in a situation like this where they're in a must-win situation to try and win a division and go to the playoffs. Buccaneers have been here before. They've been in this spot several times. A lot of these guys have, so they know what it takes. I'm worried that this Panthers team is going to kind of buckle. They're going to overthink, and the lights might get too bright for them. So with all this being said, I do think the Bucks are going to win this game. And it's going to be really heartbreaking. Me and a couple buddies are going to this game this weekend. And I am excited to go, and I'm excited to watch two really good teams play football. But I do think the Bucks are going to win this game and kind of put themselves in a position to, when they play each other again in Week 18 in Tampa, to allow the Bucks to win the game yet again and clinch the division. But who knows? Crazier things have happened in this division. We're going to have to wait and see what happens. Then we get to the 4 o'clock on Sunday. 4:25, you got the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Detroit to play the Lions. Lions are opening up as 7-point favorites. Lions are coming off of a tough loss to the Rams, in which a game that the offense played phenomenal. Defense couldn't stop a nosebleed to save their lives. And Pittsburgh coming off of a pretty good game themselves. Offense was really effective. The defense was phenomenal. And so much so, they got the starting quarterback benched for the rest of the year. Shout out the Dolphins. And, I think the Lions are going to be able to handle business. It's going to be at home. Pittsburgh hasn't really shown consistency being great on offense. The defense has been pretty much solid for most of the year. Had a little up and down times at the beginning, but since they've kind of rallied and got it together and been healthy, they've been pretty good. The Lions offense is just so overbearing for a lot of teams. It feels like if you're going to beat them, you have to win a shootout almost. Just because, they got Amon-Ra St. Brown. They got Sam Laporta. You got Gibbs and Montgomery in the backfield. You got Khalif Raymond. You got Jamison Williams going over the top for 40 yards a catch. It's a whole lot to guard. And when they can get Jared Goff into a rhythm early and get the ball out quick and on time, he's phenomenal. He is phenomenal. So I like the Lions in this one. I got them winning 28-17. I just think the Steelers are going to be able to get into their own way at times, trying to play catch up. And I just like the Lions in this one. At home, trying to get themselves back into the wild card race because they really need this win to get back into it. And then our Sunday night football matchup. We have the Patriots traveling to Baltimore to play the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens are opening right now as a 3-point favorite, and I really don't understand it. I really don't. I understand Ravens had a good week last week. Shut out Joe Burrow and the Bengals, won 24-0. But it's the same Ravens team that just 2 weeks prior to that got blown out at home by Joe Burrow and the Bengals in his first game back. You're looking at a Patriots team who, yes, they're coming off of a tough loss to the Bills at home, but Drake May has been phenomenal this year. The running game has been really good since Travion Henderson has took that starting role. And a defense that honestly is playing up to what they should be. But again, Mike Vrabel coaches a hard defense. And they just truly have ultimate confidence. I think they're going to use this as a bounce back game. I think the Ravens' offense is still going to be very competitive and keep it a tight race. But I like the Patriots come out of this one, get back on track right before the postseason. They still got a fighting shot for a potential number one seed. I like the Patriots in this one, 28-24. I'm expecting a great games by both Drake May and Lamar Jackson. Just truly a phenomenal quarterback duel here. But I think Drake May is just going to be able to have his defense help him out just a little bit more than Lamar is going to have his defense help him out. And then our Monday night matchup, you got the 49ers traveling to Indianapolis to play the Colts. The 49ers are favored by 6, and I think it's a little low. A little low. Just because this Colts offense did not look great last week. Sure, they scored a touchdown. Sure, they were able to put together 16 points when their defense was playing out of their mind. But they still lost. And I think the 49ers are going to play much more aggressive against them than Seattle's going to. And the 49ers defense, with how banged up they are, their defense is playing phenomenal under Robert Saleh. When Brock Purdy has Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Jawan Jennings, and Ricky Pearsall, that offense is moving the ball highly efficient. And I just think they're going to be able to get to Phillip Rivers and make him uncomfortable quick and early. They're going to shut down Jonathan Taylor. I think it's going to be still a somewhat rough night, but it still wouldn't shock me if the Colts are able to keep it competitive just because of their defense. But I do like San Francisco in this 28-20. Getting a big win. Got to keep themselves in a three-man race with the Rams and Seahawks in what might be one of the most competitive divisions in football. But truly, I think we got a really good slate of football games for the NFL. A lot of teams that are probably going to potentially see each other in playoffs definitely should make the playoffs. You got one matchup that's going to determine a playoff spot for a division. So we got a lot of great storylines going into this weekend, and I cannot wait to kind of watch them all unfold as we go along in real time. But with all that being said, now we get to go over to our college football. College football. This is second year of the 12-man league. We got some good matchups. We got two really good matchups. Two other ones that are going to be kind of, but we'll just have to wait and see how they go. Friday, tomorrow at 8 o'clock, you got the number 9 seed Alabama traveling to Oklahoma to play the Sooners. And we've already seen this matchup once in Tuscaloosa. Oklahoma was able to go in, win by 2, and upset Alabama. Now they get to play Alabama again, but this time at home in the playoffs. And initial thoughts, I'm looking at this like, okay, Bama does have the better offense outside of the running game. Oklahoma doesn't really have much of an offense, but Oklahoma has way better defense. Tied for first in all of college football for total sacks on the year with 41, I believe. They have future first round pick and linebackers and safeties. That defense is their bread and butter. They're phenomenal on special teams as well. That kicker just won the award for best kicker in college football. And look at Alabama. They've been really slow the last couple weeks. Struggled against Auburn. Did not show up to play against Georgia. It gets very concerning. And we all know Kalen DeBoer is not very good on the road, especially since going to Alabama. Has not been very good on the road, especially when it comes to playing ranked opponents. Initially, I saw this and I'm like, I kind of like Alabama. But the more I sit here and look at it and I think on it, and I'm like, okay, realistically, how are these two going to play based off of what we saw before? I do still think Alabama's going to win the game. I think Alabama is going to find a way. Whether it's going to be finally establishing somewhat of a run game or forcing it to have to be such a shootout that you can force multiple mistakes by John Mateer, which if you can do that, it's going to put you in more scoring positions. That's what it's going to have to take. And I think Alabama's going to finally get over the hump, get out of the first round, be able to move on to the second. I like Alabama in this game. I do think it's going to be close. Give me Alabama like 27-21. It's going to come down strictly to who can play cleaner in terms of quarterbacks. And I still like Ty Simpson more than John Mateer. I trust him more. Not by much, but I do. Just because John Mateer hasn't looked right since getting that hand surgery, and I don't think this is going to be the week that he's going to look phenomenal like Superman again to start the year. Then Saturday, noon kickoff. You got number 10 Miami going to Kyle Field to play Texas A&M Aggies. Right now, Aggies are sitting at a 3.5 point favorite. And I look at this like, okay, we got two really good defenses here. You got Miami is coming in with a top 10 ranked conference defense or college defense. Same thing with A&M. A&M's the other team tied for first with most sacks in college football. So similar to the last one, whose quarterback can play cleaner, keep the ball in their possession versus giving it to the opposing team. And just based off of the consistency that we've been able to see, I would say it's going to be Marcel Reed, just because if his first initial options aren't there, he's able to pull it down and run with it. They also are able to establish quite a bit of a run game, and they also got really good weapons. I'm looking at mainly Casey Concepcion. That guy is a burner. He can make something out of nothing, and it would not shock me if he's able to do that against this Miami secondary at some point in this game, whether it is on the offense side or returning kicks. Miami, though, they do still have a really efficient offense. They are able to run the ball well, but we've seen from Carson Beck before, if you can stop the run game and force him to have to be truly a passer, that's where things go south very quickly. And I think A&M's going to be able to do that. They're going to rattle him, and he's going to make some costly mistakes. Give me A&M to win 35-24. At home, trying to make it to the second round, trying to establish that they were a top 4 team. They had one bad week, which it happens. A lot of great teams have one bad game outside of legendary ones. Then we get to the 3:30 game. You're going to have number 11 Tulane traveling to Oxford to play Ole Miss. First game they're going to play without Lane Kiffin. You got the interim head coach, who is the OC there, calling the plays. And right now, Ole Miss is favored 17.5. And I don't blame the sportsbook for this, mainly because we've seen this matchup. Last time it was 45-10. We're going to see it again. Tulane is a really good team, but their defense isn't really all that. The offense is good, but the defense is not very good. Cannot stop the run. So if Ole Miss is able to establish a run game, not only are they going to be able to run the ball over them, it's going to open up play action, and Tulane's just not going to be ready for it. Even though Lane Kiffin's gone, the guy who's calling all the plays and making a lot of the magic happen, I still think this team's going to play really good, especially in this matchup, just because you can almost go out there with I don't want to say a vanilla game plan, but pretty much the basics. You don't have to get too fancy here, and you'll probably be able to handle business. And with Lane Kiffin leaving, I do think it's going to rally a lot of the guys. Chambliss, who's been really good this year, I think he's going to lead the forefront. He's going to play phenomenal. He's going to keep the turnovers limited and truly just force Tulane to have to be a heavy passing offense, which they don't want to. They want to be a run-first offense. But it's hard to do that if you're down 2+ scores. You're just going to kill clock, and that might be what Ole Miss wants you to do. So give me Ole Miss. Give me them 35-10. I know their defense isn't great, but if you can force Tulane to be a passing-only offense, I think you like your odds. So yeah, 35-10, easily covered at 17.5. And I just think it's going to be easy reads for Ole Miss. Then we get to the 7:30 kickoff that night. You got number 12 James Madison traveling to Eugene, Oregon. Right now, Oregon's favored 21 points, and I think that's right. James Madison is a really good team. They're top 10 in scoring offense and scoring defense. But that's against the Sun Belt, dude. Like, we got to be able to call a spade a spade. That's against the Sun Belt. Oregon is top 15 in both categories as well. In the Big Ten. Very different. James Madison did have to go play Indiana. They didn't have to go play Penn State. Even though Penn State had a down year, it's still better than most teams in the Sun Belt. I really don't see a world where James Madison is really competitive in this game. I think Oregon's going to come out. They're going to run the ball all over them. James Madison can't defend the run, really. They're going to come out, establish a run game, let Moore get into a groove early. At home, Eugene's going to be rocking. I just like Oregon in this one to absolutely blow doors out of it, get ready to go into the second round. A team that was the number one seed last year. Give me Oregon 42-13. I think James Madison will still be able to put together a couple drives to score, but they're not really going to compete with Oregon. I like it. I like them 42-13. And that is all I got for you this week, guys. We truly get a great weekend, 3-day weekend. Yeah, 3 days of great football. Starting Friday with the college football playoff, then we roll into Saturday with more college football playoff and a little bit of NFL. Then we get to roll into a great Sunday full of NFL matchups. It's gonna be a great weekend to sit around, watch football. If you have a chance to go to any of the games, you should, because I think they're some of the best sporting events to go to is football games. I only say that because I haven't been to a basketball game yet, and I really want to. But college football or NFL football, amazing environments. If you're new around here, subscribe, hit the notification button, let you know when we're posting our content if you've been around for a minute. Like the video, leave a comment, share with some friends. We just hit 50 subscribers. Thank you to everybody who has been subscribed and watching. 50 doesn't seem like a whole lot, but when you're coming from zero trying to build up, it is still a milestone. I appreciate everybody who's been around watching, sharing, liking the videos, leaving comments. I truly do appreciate you. It means the world to me, honestly. With a guy that just has a small dream of wanting to do this and talk about sports, means the world. So until next time, deuces.